Hey guys, I hope you guys are safe at home in quarantine, but don't forget to subscribe here at Fino Boxing and follow my personal one at Adriana_sports. And guess what? We're gonna knock out this coronavirus. Bop, bop, bop.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Here with the new WBA flyweight champion, Joshua Franco. You coming off a sensational victory over Andrew Moloney on a fight that you were the underdog. First and foremost, how does it feel to be the new champion at 115 pounds?
It feels really good, being the world champion. I worked so hard for this since I was a kid. I dreamed about it, and it finally happened. I'm world champion, and now I'm in the talks with the big dogs.
Definitely. Walk me through that process. Obviously, going to a top-ranked fight on ESPN, being the opponent in a sense, and going through this quarantine, obviously being away from family and fans. How difficult was it? How challenging was it to get up to the challenge and dethrone Moloney?
It was really difficult not being able to have fans or family there. But the main focus was that world title. Not everybody gets the opportunity to fight for a world title. So when I got the call, I mean, I didn't ask about no fans or about none of that. I would just say yes right away, and I got my flight out to Cali the next day. I was ready to go.
Walk me through the fight. Obviously, early on, it seemed that you took the first two rounds kind of like adjusting and kind of see what he brought in and work on the timing. Was that the thought process? Was that the plan with Robert Garcia to kind of get a feel for it before going in there?
Yeah, of course. I even told Robert and my dad that I knew that he was gonna start fast. He had a lot to prove. He was a world champion. So he tried to come out proving that he was stronger than me, and try to prove like he was better than me. But I just kept my composure, kept my poise, and little by little I started breaking him down.
Yeah, you definitely broke him down in the middle of the fight. You took over the fight. You dropped him on the 11th. Seemed that there was some chance that you could put him away, but obviously as a champion, he didn't want to do that. He was aggressive till the end. Now, when it went to the judges, how confident were you that you had gotten the victory, knowing that obviously it was at a top ranked card?
I was confident. I feel like I dominated the whole fight. I gave away a few rounds, but I still feel like I did enough to get the win. So when I heard the scorecards and I heard the 113, 114, I was confident that was going to be in favor for me because of the knockdown. But either way, I feel like the judges' scores on those cards were too close. I feel like if I didn't get the knockdown, they probably would have gave it a draw or something.
Yeah, it was definitely, and it was a little too close, from the judges' point of view. I had it 116, 111, especially with that knockdown on the 11th. And obviously those two, 114, 113, made it a little closer than actually the fight was. But at the end of the day, you are the new champion. Now, when you hear that word, and the new champion, walk me through the emotion. How does it feel? Obviously you being there with Peter Garcia and also Robert Garcia, all this blood, tough,
It
tears of
felt
dedication.
Yeah, it felt really good. We all the hard work we put into the gym. We were really confident going into the fight, and just accomplished to be world champion. And then, Robert, he added another world champion to his list. All of us were just really emotional, very happy, and words can't describe that feeling. It's a good feeling.
It's been a week since you became a world champion. How has his life changed? Going back home to San Antonio, being another legend, from boxing at the San Antonio talent. How has you find your life has changed in a sense?
I just it's changed. I'm very proud of myself. My family's very proud of me. To being able to be one of the few champions from San Antonio, it feels great. Not many can say they're from San Antonio, world champion. So it feels really good to make history for San Antonio, for my family, for myself. Just everybody's proud of me, and it feels good.
You said you proved that you're one of the big boys now, being a champion at 150 pounds on one of the big dogs. I heard there was a rematch clause on the contract. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. There is a rematch clause with Andrew Maloney. He wanted the rematch, but who knows? How fast or how quick he's gonna be back in the ring. Because I know he had the busted eardrums and some other problems. So I mean, I don't know how fast he's gonna recover, but hopefully, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm ready for whatever. I'll be ready for the next one. Whenever they call me.
Definitely. If the rematch take place, knowing what happened in the first one that you, in a sense, dominated the fight, do you see the fight, a rematch, maybe even being a little bit easier than this one?
Of course, I feel like it'll be still a tough fight, but now that I know I feel like he showed me his everything. He showed me his all. That's all he has. I feel like I'll be able to get the stoppage the next fight. I rewatched the fight a few times, and I see things I could have done different. If I would have started a little bit earlier, I definitely could have got a stoppage in maybe the 10th, 11th round. But it just all plays out, and it's a learning experience. And the next fight, if we do fight again, it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, if that fight, for some reason, he doesn't, take it out of immediately. Is there, thoughts, maybe you have spoken with Golden Boy, maybe having a title defense back in San Antonio in front of your hometown fans? Hopefully, when five fans are allowed back in.
Yeah, I mean, that hasn't been talked. Oscar had just messaged me, just to enjoy my win, relax a little bit, and then, get ready for the next one, to defend my title. So, it hasn't been talked about bringing a fight to San Antonio, but that would be, really good to do. That would be a great, great card. That would be a dream come true. So, I'll keep that in mind for sure.
Yeah, and now that you have the strap, obviously the WBA is one of the most respected organizations in boxing. How does it feel carrying the belt around? Obviously, you travel on the plane with it, landing at the airport. Is it what you expected to be?
Well, I didn't get to bring the belt home. I had to give it back to Moloney and his team. They're gonna send me a new one, but it just feels good, knowing that I'm a world champion. It's something I dreamed of, and I'm finally a world champion. And now it's just I got to work even harder to keep the belt and to get more belts. I'm on top, and I want to stay on top.
Exactly. You mentioned, obviously, it's tough to get on top of staying as a champion. It's just as difficult as well. Now that you do have a target on your back, obviously, 150-pound division is one of those stacked with talent in boxing. You have a guy Estrada, you have Chocolatito. Guys who actually, Carlos Cuadras was also part of that 150-pound division who you have sparred before in the past. Do you also envision, those big fights, unification fights against these other champions at 115 pounds?
Of course, all the time. I see myself in a fight with Chocolatito. I always play that fight out in my head with Gallo Estrada. I would give these guys, a tough fight, and it'll be even match with any of the champions that I fight. I feel like I am world champion now. I belong, on top with them. I believe in myself, and I feel like I could be any of them.
Being at such a young age of 24 years old, 20 fights in, already a world champion. How do you see your future developing within Golden Boy and becoming, unified champion? And perhaps, obviously, you have fought before at 118 pounds. Is that the goal as well, to potentially be a two-division world champion?
Of course, I want to unify at 115 and then, move up and do the same thing at 118. But, right now, my main focus is at 115 and fighting the champions at 115. Chocolatito, guy Estrada, Arcanjas, the guy from Japan. Any of those champions will be great fights to unify.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned, obviously, another champion in San Antonio. Obviously, you have your younger brother who's a rising talent, undefeated as well, Bam Rodriguez. What kind of this belt you bringing it home? How does it motivate him to perhaps fight for a world title in the near future?
It motivated him a lot. We talked after the fight, and he told me he was very proud of me, that he knew I was gonna do it. And it got emotional. I told him, just if he stays focused, anything's possible, and he will be world champion soon.
Yeah. And how does it feel? Obviously, I would imagine there was some competition between you and Hector Tanajara, maybe Jonathan Franco. Jonathan Navarro, when you guys signed with Golden Boy at the same time, knowing that you were actually the first one to become a world champion.
It feels good. I mean, it shows them that anything's possible, and if you work hard, you could do whatever you dream of, and it just goes to show, motivate them that they could be the next ones. We all got signed together. I was the first one. They could be the second or third.
Yeah, definitely. And you kind of look back at your career. I remember you had a tough fight, on your pro debut. You won by split decision at the Velasco at the LA Fight Club, and obviously, going through the ups and downs in boxing to become a world champion at 24 years old. How obviously it was a difficult moment, but how gratifying is it that you're at this point and you still have your whole future ahead of you, and you're a world champion now?
Oh, it feels good. All of those tough fights, they made me into the champion that I am today. Without all of that experience or all those tough fights, I think I wouldn't be where I am. Yeah, I never had an easy fight. Each fight I learned something new. I had tough fights, so it all paid off. And look what happened. I'm a world champion, and I'm still learning. As I get older.
Yeah. Now, lastly, you've been with Golden Boy since day one. How's that relationship with you and Golden Boy Promotions with Eric Gomez and Robert Diaz and Oscar De La Hoya?
It's a great relationship. They take care of me. Everything they said that they were gonna do, they did for me. I'm blessed, to be working with them, and for them to be by my side supporting me. And now, they're even more proud of me that I brought them a world title. So, it's just a great experience with them, and we're a great team.
Joshua, thank you so much for taking the time. We look forward to seeing you back in action defending the world title or unifying belts in the near future. Thank you so much for taking the time, and God bless. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, bro, and thank you guys for the support. Thank you for always supporting me, and yeah, like you said, we'll talk soon, bro. Thank you.
Definitely, always, man. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too.
Congrats.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe here to Fino Boxing and follow us at all our social media platforms at Fino Boxing, and my personal one is at Adriana_sports. Enjoy.